Welcome to the Goodworks Show, where we highlight the good that makes Atlanta work. Now, please welcome the hosts of the Goodworks Show, Elaine Armstrong and Trenise Lyons.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's Goodworks Show. This is our second week in our new home, and we're so glad that you joined us back again. So, or maybe it's the first time that you joined us, but we're glad that you're here at any rate. So thank you so much. We've got a great show for you, and this show is going to be all about Goodwill. So we've got some of our colleagues who are going to come in and talk about a variety of different things, but we're excited because this will be your chance to learn more about Goodwill than you probably ever knew before.
Yeah, so we always get those questions about Goodwill. Well, everybody knows the stores. Most people know about donations. So it's always exciting when we get a chance to share kind of the rest of the story on what we're doing. And we're not going to spoil anything. No spoilers.
Are we going to tell them who's on the show?
Yes, we'll tell you who's on the show, but we won't spoil what they're going to talk about.
All right. Okay. So we've got our Vice President of Donated Goods Retail, Dale McKinney, who is going to join us after the break. And he is fairly newish to the team. I feel like I've known Dale forever now, but he's jumped right in and done a lot for our organization. So we're excited to have him, and he will be here in a few minutes.
Yeah, and then we're going to have Stacy Rozier. She is the director of our virtual
career services.
That sounds right. If it's not, she'll correct us later. But Stacy's going to share with us some really cool, she's going to give us the basics about what we do on our mission side. And our mission at Goodwill of North Georgia is to put people to work. So she's going to share a little bit more about what that means. But there's so many other really cool things. And just by nature of her being in charge of our virtual career services, she's going to talk about some of those aspects, our online stuff, some really cool stuff that we're doing with Google. I wasn't supposed to spoil it, but that'll keep you here until she comes on. So she's going to share some of those details with us and the work that they're doing in our career centers around the territory.
So if you don't know much about Goodwill, or the Goodworks Show, so the Goodworks Show is sponsored by Goodwill, started about 3 years ago. And we went out and tried to talk about Goodwill and talk about our mission. And we did that for about 2 shows. And that was about 2 hours worth. And that's all we could really do. So after that, we decided to bring on other nonprofits and give them the opportunity to talk about the work that they do. But every once in a while, we like to stop and pause and bring back our colleagues to talk about Goodwill, because it's a growing organization. We have a fairly new CEO now. He's been with us for about 18 months, going on 2 years. And we've done a lot in those last 18 months, including bringing Dale on. So we're excited about the work that he's doing. And we talk a lot about the stores and donation centers, but it is a huge chunk of what we do at Goodwill. And if you didn't know, that is the reason why we exist, is our mission, but how we fund it is through the stores. So they're super important. The work that Dale and his team do is, we couldn't do what we do without
it's the gas for the engine. If not for them, none of us would be here. So
that's right.
So we play nice with them.
But Dale's a good. He's great. He's great.
We play nice anyway, but you always remember, like, that's where my bread is buttered. So we're not going to make them angry.
But yeah,
so it should be a good show. Excited, and then in the coming weeks we will bring in Keith and have him talk a little bit about his vision for the organization. So you guys will meet him, and every once in a while, like we said, we like to pop in some folks from Goodwill, and you'll meet them and hear what we're doing and share some information. So it's all good. We have some new stores that are happening. So Dell will share some information.
Yeah, we'll ask
about
them all of that. Yeah.
Some other exciting stuff. So yeah, good stories, good show. What else is going on?
So there's a lot of Goodwill stuff going on, and I'm trying to wait for Dale to get here. I think he's here. Like, he texted me, he said he was here. So
usually
we would usually talk about this stuff, but we're going to let him talk about it. But here's one thing that we can get you to do, because if you are just finding us or you're new to the Goodworks Show, we want to make sure that you know how to stay involved. So we are on social media. We've been there for a while. We're just now on YouTube, because now we've got the video component. But if you were a loyal listener for a long time, time, and this is our third station now. So we've moved homes a few times, but you've got an opportunity to go back, way back, to where we had where our founder, Jim Caponegro, and I were hosting the show at first, and then he moved way over to the West Coast, and then Trenise filled his spot, and we've been going for about 2 years now, and we've added this video component. But if you ever want to go back and listen to some of the great interviews that we've had, and we have some really good ones. We've had nearly 300 nonprofits who have been featured on the show. You can go back and do that on all of the podcast things. So you know all the podcast channels, right? We'll do all the ones that we're on. Right? I don't know. You know more than me.
So you can definitely find it on Apple.
Yep.
We're on Spotify podcast. We're on
See, I didn't even know about the Spotify one.
We're on Spotify. We're on Stitcher. We're on Blueberry.
Okay.
I don't know how to pronounce it. There's no vowels in it. So it's just something.
Blubbery.
But for all of that.
And Tune In, right?
Tune In. One. And there's another one.
Well, and the Google, the Android one.
Yeah.
What's the Android one?
That one. I don't know.
Google
so here's
Play
what.
Or something.
The best
we don't have Androids. Apparently, we're the Apple people.
So the best option for you is to go to our website. So if you go to goodwillng.org/goodworks, you can find us everywhere we are. You can find us there.
That's right.
Including the links to our YouTube channel. So if you want to catch up, or if you want to, like Elaine said, go back and hear some of those old episodes, we are going to bring some of those folks back.
Yeah.
Sometimes, we haven't talked to somebody in 12, 18 months, and the organizations have completely evolved, and they've done all kinds of new we like to believe it's because they were on the show, and then somebody heard about it, and then the organization just blew up, and then they just so we're going to bring some of those folks back, so you'll get to hear from some of them again. But follow us a lot. We have a lot of loyal podcast listeners.
That's right.
Or at least one that I know of for certain. So, hey, Mary.
We got 2.
Hey, Mary.
Or 3. Actually, I got 3. But anyway, and then you can also follow us on social media. So we're on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. We do a lot of sort of behind the scenes thing, but that's also where you find where we're doing things in the community, because we don't just use this show as a platform, but we're always out in the community trying to do something. I mean, we work for a nonprofit. So by virtue of what we do every day, I guess you could say we're giving back to the community, but we take that a step further and try to engage with a lot of times with the guests who are on the show.
Yeah.
And if they have events or they have things going on, we like to support that. And then we also have our projects and nonprofits that are near and dear to our heart that we continue to support. So that's how you'll catch up with us. You'll see where we are. If you, on the rare occasion, if you want to meet up and see us in person, then you might be able to see where we're at. But we're probably not that good at posting like in the moment.
No, we're not.
So if you think we're there,
warning,
it's probably like a few days after
it may not be days. It might be hours.
Okay.
It's not real time.
If I posted it as days.
If she posts as days.
Yeah.
The other thing, though, so if you're listening to this and you're like, okay, I work for a nonprofit, I volunteer for a nonprofit, I know of one that I think should be on the show. Those are all the ways as well that you can get to us. So tell us about it on social. We get folks that, send us a DM on Instagram or send us a message on Facebook to say, hey, they follow us and then they say, we'd like to be featured on the show. Great. Come on over. The other thing that you can do is to email us. Our email is...
where's our email? Can we put the email? We should put the email on.
Can we do that?
Like, we're on YouTube where it's like, oh, over here or down here, whatever. The email, we'll put the email somewhere you can see it.
I think we might just have to...
We can put it in the comments on the YouTube.
We just need a sign. Just get a sign.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it'll be in there? That's what we're being told? Okay, great. So
yes, it'll be on this. It's somewhere on the
screen.
Look for it.
But if not, it's goodworks@ging.org. You can email us there. The email goes directly to us. So if you don't hear from us, that's why. If you do hear from us, there you go. No, but we will respond. Tell us about your organization or somebody that you think should be featured on the show. That's how we get a ton of our guests.
It is.
So we love to hear about the stuff. Elaine and I try to do some research and get out there in the community and find out about organizations. And but we do have day jobs. We do.
But there's a lot of nonprofits in Atlanta.
Yeah, there are.
I mean, there's thousands. So I think and I'm probably going to get the statistic wrong, but somewhere I heard that there are like 3,000 nonprofits that are started like every year or something. And maybe that's not just in Atlanta, maybe that's nationwide. But if you think about that, that's lots of them. And Atlanta has a very rich nonprofit community. I will say that they're everything from your big ones like United Way and Goodwill and even CARE, which is an international organization that's based in Atlanta. But then you have folks like Raising Expectations and, you know, some of the folks that we've had on the show.
Oh, the OMG kids.
The OMG kids who are, you know, they're starting out and so they're making their way, but they haven't had an opportunity to be featured in an area like this. And so we give them the platform to do that. So if you know of one, like Trenise said, make sure that you connect them to the show. Just give us a heads up. Just say, hey, I'd like such and such to be on the show. We'll do the legwork, reach out to them. It would help if you give us contact information, but you know, if you don't, that's right. It's okay. The Google machine will help us find it, and then we'll get to them and we'll get them on the show.
Yeah. So great show coming up today. We are excited to have. I think I see hovering happening.
Okay.
Right.
So it's probably Dell is here.
Probably. So we're really looking forward to having the show today. Having our colleagues on, the folks that we get to work with every day, and introduce them to you. And we're just really excited to be in this new format, in this new station, maybe with some new folks who are listening to us. Hopefully some old folks too. Hopefully there's some people out there that came along with us.
Well, old, like you mean returning folks.
Not old.
I mean, you can be old too, but
you know, we love our seniors. We love senior citizens on the
We should have a
show.
Senior show.
We really should.
I know some seniors who blow your mind.
Just come on and have a conversation. There's so much wisdom.
And fun. Only when you get to a certain age can you like wake up and start drinking alcohol. I know some seniors who do that. They just, you know, hey.
Well, that might be.
Their span of time and commitment is very. They have all day to do whatever they want.
Well, we don't have time now to talk about the text I got from my dad last night, and I just responded back to him. I'm like, well, that's cool. So he called, and he's like, no, you were supposed to be more jealous of my day. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't respond with enough enthusiasm. So,
next time you better do
Next time I know better.
Yeah.
All right. So cool. So we'll hear from Dell after the break. And thanks for sticking with us.
You're listening to The Good Work Show.
To learn more about the show and how your company can tell their story, like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter @GoodWorkShow.
Welcome back to The Good Work Show, everybody. We are excited. We've got our colleague, Dell McKinney, here.
Yay!
Yeah, he was waiting outside for us. He's like, let me in. No, just kidding. I didn't. But Dell is our Vice President of Donated Goods Retail at Goodwill. And Dell, you've been at Goodwill for how long now?
For 8 months.
8 months. Wow. So tell us all about you. Tell us about Dell McKinney and your 8-month ride at Goodwill. What you've been doing so far?
Sure. Well, I'm originally from Houston, Texas, born and raised. I went to college at Texas A&M University, Gig'em Aggies.
I'm sure.
What is that?
Gig'em.
I'm sure that means something to somebody.
This is Georgia, Bulldogs down here.
Okay,
but
like sick 'em dogs. So that's
right?
Okay. I gotcha.
Gig'em Ags.
All right.
Both of those things, I'm just like, whatever.
But yeah, I went to school at Texas A&M, and right after A&M, started working at Target as an entry-level executive, and worked my way up through the organization to senior vice president. And after 22 years with that organization, decided to make a move and do something different. I thought it was a great time in my career to make a change. And actually, when I transitioned out of Target, I wasn't necessarily looking right away for the next opportunity, but found this amazing opportunity here at Goodwill of North Georgia. And after doing my research on Goodwill, never thought I would end up in nonprofit. But, just looking at the mission and what Goodwill is all about, it was just the right fit for me. And so made the move from Texas to here in Atlanta, Georgia. And this 8 months has been an amazing ride so far.
Cool. Well, we're glad to have you.
We are.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So what is the biggest... So you were working at Target, and, I sit here doing the show, and, I get the little buzzes from Target, this stuff is on sale. Come shop with us. Because they know. They're like, oh, it's about time. So everybody, people love Target. So what has been the biggest transition for you from moving from an organization like that to, now be nice to us, but moving from, what's been the biggest difference for you from it being a for-profit to a nonprofit to, regular retail to donated goods. So what's that transition been like for you?
Yeah, it's actually been a smooth transition. And, when I think about the differences between what I did in for-profit retail versus nonprofit retail, it's really been how we procure our goods. One is new goods, one is donated goods. And then the other difference is one gives to shareholders and one gives back to the community. And we put people to work. And so looking at kind of where our profit goes and how we procure our goods has been the biggest difference. And my teams always ask me, or they always say, it's a huge difference between what we do here at Goodwill and what regular retail does. And for me, it's all retail. It's just how we get our goods and where the money goes from where we get our goods. So it's actually been a pretty smooth transition.
Yeah. So what's been the most interesting thing to you so far that since you've been here? I'm sure you've seen some interesting things come in the donor door, as everybody does, and we'll ask you about the most interesting thing you've seen. But what's been the most interesting thing in your 8 months since you've been at Goodwill?
The biggest thing that I've seen and the most interesting thing is just how the organization is shifting and how we are really striving to be a retailer and an employer of choice. And so it's really fun to be part of an organization who's making a transformation and to create a culture where people feel valued, they feel appreciated, but also working to be very competitive in the space. And so it's really fun to be part of that transition that we're going through at Goodwill of North Georgia.
Yeah. So now, most interesting thing you've either seen on the shelves in one of your stores or in the coming through the donor door. And you've worked the donor door, too.
I have worked the donor door.
Yeah.
Here's one of the most interesting things. When I was making my rounds meeting the team, I talked to them about where I was from and went to Texas A&M and Aggies. Nobody knew what Texas A&M was and what an Aggie was. So the first store that I visit, guess what I found on the rack? A Texas Aggie T-shirt.
Did you buy it?
It was planted right there. Somebody
You know what? I was going to buy it, but it was actually a onesie for a baby. So it was interesting to walk in my very first store, and the first thing I see is an Aggie shirt. So
what is an Aggie?
So an Aggie is that's our logo. That's our
But
our motto.
What kind of animal is it?
It's not an animal. Actually, our logo, our motto, or our what do you call it? The mascot is Reveille, which is a dog.
Okay.
So is it like because it's agricultural? Is it Texas agricultural mechanical?
Could be tied to that.
So Aggie, like agricultural Aggie.
Okay, because I was like, what kind of
right?
What kind of animal?
It's close to Aggie colors too.
Oh, okay. Okay.
The maroon.
I'm representing.
She's feeling the Aggies.
Yeah.
Like no.
Right. Still not working.
No.
Okay, cool. So I'm glad we got that education. I never would have known.
Right?
Yeah. Cool.
I don't understand schools that have mascots that aren't their thing, though. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, really.
Like the University of Georgia is like there's a dog, so there's a dog.
Yeah.
Like the Gators are the Gators.
Yeah.
But see, actually, I say that in my school is not. Never mind.
Yeah, you got what is you got a hurricane?
So you don't understand your own school mascot.
No,
do you have a There's a hurricane that runs around.
No, there's a story.
Mascot.
No, that'd be kind of cool though. No, but it's a ibis. It's a bird.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Our mascot is of all the things in all the world. My mascot is a bird.
It's a bird,
which I'm horrified by.
Back to Goodwill and DGR. So you've got lots of things that you talked about. Surprisingly, that the organization was in this sort of change mode, I guess, and we've got a lot of change. Of course, we mentioned that we had a new CEO, and Keith is a little more senior than you are, yes, in the sense that he started 18 months ago and you've been here 8 months. But even amongst your team, you've made a lot of changes so yes far, and good changes. And so tell us about, because you're making a lot of cultural things, and working alongside you, I get an opportunity to hear about a lot of those things. So share with our audience some of the things that you're doing to just not only improve and help Goodwill move forward, but also the culture amongst your own team.
Yes, absolutely. So one of the big things that I'm really big on is team culture and having really a healthy team culture. Mm-hmm. And so that's always kind of a foundation for me. So anytime a business is not running well, it's not just about the business itself, because if you don't have a really good, solid team foundation, it's really hard to run a great business. Yeah. And so really it was bringing that balance to the team, a balance between team and business. And what I've talked to my team about is that balance is not equal, right? Mm-hmm. It's about knowing and understanding where you need to spend your time and when you need to spend your time there. So one day you may come in and you may need to spend 80% of your time on team and maybe 20% of your time on business. There may be other days where you come in and you have to spend, 60% of your time on team and maybe 40% of your time on business. Yeah. And so really making sure the team understand there has to be balance in our approach. It can't just be all about business or all about team. It's a healthy balance of both to get great results. Mm-hmm. So that's the first thing, is really helping us to understand our foundation, but then really giving the team an identity as well. And so really, in addition to focus on that balanced approach to the business, it's also helping them to understand what type of foundation do we create so that we can deliver on our agency 5-year strategic plan. And to deliver on that 5-year strategic plan, if we don't have a strategic approach, it's going to be really hard to get there because we have an aggressive 5-year plan to really grow our business. And so really talk to the team about the concept of one team, one strategy, one mission. And this is about creating unity, not only in DGR, but throughout the agency, to help everyone understand that we work together as one big team. And in order to get to the results that we want to with our 5-year strategic plan, we have to operate as one team and leverage each other and really have a foundation that's built in trust and respect for each other, and really leveraging the experts in our business. And then the other exciting thing is the launch of our e-commerce business. And so the launch of our e-commerce business is very exciting because when most people think about not just discount retail, but nonprofit, they don't necessarily think about e-commerce. And so through our e-commerce business, we've been able to reach clients that we would have never been able to reach before to help continue to expand our footprint. So very excited about looking at other streams of revenue to really grow our business. So those are kind of some of the highlights when I think about some of the new businesses that we're entering, as well as kind of the foundation that we're setting for the organization as well.
Yeah. So there's a lot of new stuff that we have going on that so e-commerce, that's your most exciting thing?
That's probably the most exciting, but there's other.
I'm not saying that it couldn't be.
E-commerce has taken off. We've only been doing it for a little while,
Absolutely.
right? It's like going gangbusters.
I didn't mean to say it that way. But tell people what that.
Clarifying.
Yeah, but tell people what that means, because it's. Yeah, so explain it a little bit and what people can actually find and where they can find and that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. So most of this can be found if you go to directly to our website. I'm at goodwillng.org, and going to that website, you can click on Shop Goodwill, where you'll be able to find an assortment of items that we carry in our stores. The first phase of our launch was really with books. So we've moved books to online, and so not only do we sell books in our stores, but we also sell books online. We're now offering jewelry assortments. Where guests can go online and shop our jewelry assortment, and now we're about to add collectibles. And so these are great finds that are going to get exposure that may have not ever otherwise gotten exposure to a broader range of audience. And so definitely looking forward to continuing to grow that business from books to jewelry and now to collectibles. We're also introducing an expanded assortment in our stores of new goods. So now when you come into Goodwill, while our primary assortment will still be donated goods and in the donated goods business, this is just another opportunity for us to expand our assortment and to attract other guests that may not have shopped Goodwill before with our new goods assortment as well. So we'll be looking at different things like Halloween and back to school with uniforms, and all of these are possibilities in the future for us. And then also working with my amazing marketing partners and revamping what our stores look like. So not only are we opening new stores, we're also refreshing and creating a new look and a consistent look and brand in our stores as well. So I think all of those things are very exciting for us.
Yeah, it's been exciting for us too to work alongside you and your team as we move forward. And we're doing things that for the last 90 years we've never done at this particular Goodwill. And so we're moving constantly, but all in a really positive direction. So Dale, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk a little bit more about your role, and then maybe, share some stories about some of your team members who you've seen, ride along with you with the change. I know you got some superstars out there that, we could definitely talk about. And then we should talk about the new stores that are coming. So we've got some stuff that we want people to come to and enjoy and shop and donate. So we want to make sure that we give them all of that information. So hang with us, audience. We're going to be back. You're listening to The Good Work Show.
To learn more about the show and how your company can tell their story, like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter @Good Work Show.
Audience, welcome back to the Good Work Show. We are sitting here with our colleague, Dale McKinney, who is the Vice President of Donated Goods Retail at Goodwill of North Georgia. We get an opportunity to work with him every day and his team of, 2,500 or so. A huge team. He has the bulk of the Goodwill of North Georgia team members. But basically, you've got purview over all of the stores, donation centers, the transportation team that transports donated goods to the stores and from our donation centers.
Those trucks with Elaine's face on them.
The trucks that some of them have my face on them. And then also the e-commerce team. And so you've got a lot under your umbrella. We talked about how you're changing the culture within your team and some of the things that you've been excited about seeing since you've been at Goodwill. One of them, of course, being e-commerce, but then two, having an opportunity to change the culture. So what else is going on within your team? I know you've got some people who have some new roles and positions. And one of the things that having a new leader, you also get an opportunity to learn from your team, being new to the organization, but then also seeing things that they may not have seen because we've got some people who have some long-term tenure and have been around and maybe we've just been doing things that way for so long. And so you've got some people who are now in new roles and are thriving. And I know you could probably talk about a couple of them, but you've got a training team that's just doing some amazing things. And so I think, if you don't mind, kind of sharing some of the things that they're doing, especially if people are interested in like, hey, I think this sounds like a great place to work. What kind of training opportunities do you have at your department?
Absolutely. So we basically restructured the entire donated goods retail division. Within that structure, we really created a structure where we have a definite career path. So whereas people may not have seen an opportunity to grow in the past, they definitely see a clear path to grow within donated goods retail. And so it's very exciting the way we've restructured. Our old structure was really around having kind of everybody doing everything. And so we had a lot of generalists, but no experts. So now the way we're structured, we have experts in operations, we have experts of people who can run stores, and we have experts in real estate. And so with that type of division, it creates a career path for individuals who want to be in operations, who want to be in real estate, or who just want to run stores. And so there's multiple career paths they can take now within DGR. A couple of leaders, and this is a beauty in Goodwill, we have a lot of long-term tenured people who know the business really well. So I've learned a lot from people like Brian East, who's my executive director of operations. So while he's gone through a change of learning how to be a true operator, I'm learning so much from him about the business itself and how do you run a donated goods retail business. And so combining his years of experience and knowledge with my background and experience in a for-profit organization, I think it makes for a perfect mix. And so not only also are we promoting from within, we're also bringing new talent in to continue to give us fresh ideas and new ideas of how we can continue to expand our business and grow our business from a revenue standpoint. And then within our training organization is now really focused on standard operating procedures. And so now they can frequently update, dive deep, and really assess the business. And most recently, they took on a project with Emory.
Yes.
Where we worked with Emory and their Gozueta team, their
business school.
And basically with a project called Impact 360 to really take a deep dive into our organization and our processes. And excited to share that they actually won the Gold Award.
Fantastic.
Was the #1 team from that whole project out of 24 other companies. And so that's the type of innovation and partnerships that we're now taking with the reorganization to continue to make improvements in our processes and our business. And I think it also gives a new light to Goodwill and exposes us to different opportunities of how we can continue to grow and expand our business.
That's fantastic. Yeah, and congratulations to the Emory team. And thank you. We owe a big thank you to them because what they did was they evaluated some things in your business and thank you to you for opening your doors and allowing, kind of being vulnerable and letting somebody else see things that you may not have seen.
Absolutely.
And so that's great. And we're going to use some of their things that they, the
and I do want to give
made.
a shout out to the associate professor, Jeff Rummel, who led the project and put together a fantastic team of MBA students to really lead that project, as well as my director of operations and guest experience, Cartella, who did an amazing job of leading the team as well.
Nice.
That's awesome. So you mentioned that we're going to be using some of those things for growth and expansion, and we have some growth and expansion happening. So let's talk about that. We are, and those of us in the marketing team and your team are very intimately aware of all of the growth and expansion and changes and refreshes and renovations that are happening around Goodwill right now. So let's talk about this. We've got some new stores opening. Two. We've got one in South Harrison in Duluth, and then one in what county is that?
South Beaufort, or
is that?
Wait, did you say South Harrison in Duluth?
I did.
Okay, that's not right.
No,
because I was like, let's clear that up. It's on South Harrison Road in DeKalb County.
Yeah, I'm like, that's not right. So as the
Covington Highway in South Harrison. So if you know that area, it's a beautiful store.
Yes.
Yeah. So folks will learn on the show as they're with us. My geography is terrible,
and I'm right there with you. GPS takes me everywhere.
Yeah, my geography is awful. So we have our South Harrison store
in DeKalb County.
And
then we have we're building a store in Duluth, but it will be a while before that one. Like it's basically dirt right now.
Yeah.
That's coming up in the fall season. So,
I drove by there the other day. It's dirt. And then
the store is not going to be dirt.
The store will be beautiful.
It'll be beautiful.
If I have
take some time to build it.
Yes, if I have anything to do with it, and I do. So it will be beautiful. And then we have our store in South Beaufort.
Yes.
And then where I don't know what that is.
I think the best way to describe it's near the Mall of Georgia.
Near the Mall of Georgia, but
right.
what county is that?
I think it might be on the further end of Gwinnett, but I'm not sure.
So Mall of Georgia exit, I think, is the exit that you take to get to that store. So so we'll have those two locations that are brand new.
Yes.
We love a new store. That's very exciting. But then we're going to have some, and so those are kind of north, but we're doing some cool stuff in some of our in-town stores too. So, we talked for a while about our store in Hartwell because it was the first one that got this new look that we talked about, but then we also recognized it was in Hartwell.
Hart County.
So not everybody got a chance to see it.
Not everybody got a chance to see it.
Yeah.
And then we opened our new store in Old National.
On Old National Highway in South Fulton, which is in the southern part of Fulton County near the airport.
Yes.
Just to be clear,
geographically,
Old National is not a city; it is a road.
So geographically challenged.
Yeah.
So people got to see that one a little bit.
Yes.
But they'll get to see a little bit more in some of our other locations. So talk about that and kind of what we're doing and then what the plan is for that.
Absolutely. So first I'll start. You mentioned the refresh.
Yes.
So not only are we investing in, of course, new stores, we're also investing in our existing stores. So we're very excited. I went to the team, my marketing partners, I went to my facilities partners, and I said, okay, guys, we're going to basically do many remodels in 5 stores in 60 days. They looked at me like I was crazy.
And we still do.
How are we going to do that? But the team turned quickly, put together a very strategic plan where we're going to give our stores a new look.
Yeah.
We're going to update them with a very similar look to what our new stores have, from graphics to paint to floors to lighting, being more energy efficient in those environments. New shelving, new production areas for our teams, refreshing our break rooms. So it's all about creating an amazing experience for the guests, but also an amazing experience for our team. And we feel confident that this investment is going to really help us to continue to grow sales. You're going to see some great innovation in our new stores. So our new stores, we're very proud of what we're bringing to our new stores. We're putting additional resources in stores for our team, but we're also enhancing the guest experience. And part of that enhancement is, if you know anything about Goodwill, we used to use what we call grease pens to mark our items, where we're moving away from that and we're going to scannable barcodes for everything in our stores. Cuts the transaction times in half when we think about a guest experience to be able to get in and get out quickly. The brand of our store is significantly enhanced, rivaling that of other big box retailers where people are amazed and blown away by the overall organization of our stores, the brand of our stores, how full they are, how bright and well lit our stores are, how clean, neat, and clutter-free they are. So really creating an environment where people want to come shop. And our guests in the at the Old National store have responded really well. And that store is just blowing its budget away. And we continue to hear very positive, favorable things from our guests about the experience they're having in our new stores.
Nice.
Cool.
So you relocated. You got this great new job, great new team, doing fantastic things at Goodwill.
Great new marketing team.
Great new marketing
right?
partners, yes. But so tell us about moving back to Atlanta. You used to live in Atlanta some time ago.
Yes.
Just being a new resident back to Atlanta. What's the most favorite thing you've done in the last 8 months since you've been back in Atlanta?
The favorite thing I've done is work at Goodwill.
Yeah.
Besides that,
I mean,
that's true. That's sad.
You actually live in a very cool place. I'm jealous.
Right?
But,
I mean, if that's the best thing, if going to work has been the best thing you've done in 8 months, we need to talk.
Right? Absolutely. But no, it's great being back in the city. Lived here about maybe 15 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
And so coming back to the city, though, the city has changed significantly.
Oh, yes.
In that time. And so I actually live in Midtown.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's pretty cool living in Midtown. Wanted to get a really good feel for what it's like to live in the city and kind of in the heart of things. And so the coolest thing about living in Midtown is they just opened a new Whole Foods.
Yes.
Right
Everybody keeps
where I
talking about this
live.
Whole Foods.
And it's crazy because people literally go to Whole Foods to party. Yeah. They call it Club Whole Foods. And so, but they have like rooftop dining and a burger bar and they do Mike Night. And so lots of cool things going on in the area. So
work in Whole Foods. That's the
Right.
best.
He lives at Whole Foods.
Right.
That's
true.
He lives at
Every day.
Whole Foods. Yeah, it's like I'm super
They just
jealous.
made it
That's
really
kinda
convenient.
awesome. Yeah.
Really convenient. But it's great, though, being back in the city and, thinking about kind of how I continue to, connect with the city and leveraging people like you guys who get out in the city and know the city very well. And so the other cool thing is the first time I lived here, people didn't really come and visit. Now everybody wants to visit Atlanta.
Yeah.
And so now that I'm in Atlanta, I get visitors all the time. So it's pretty cool. So I got to learn the city. Because I'm geographically challenged, I'm limited to where my GPS will take me.
Yeah.
But
It'll
it's
take you
exciting
somewhere.
city, right?
Yeah. But here's
Where
the
is
thing.
the question,
You
right?
have to use it anyway, even if you know where you're going.
You
Because
still
that's what
have to.
Elaine and I were talking about on our way over here. I was like, I know where I'm going to
Traffic,
get here,
right?
but traffic.
Oh, my goodness.
So I rely completely on my GPS to tell me how to get to where I'm going in the least amount of time.
Yeah, because I can't take the back roads. I got to stay where the GPS takes me.
Yeah. Well, Del, it's been a pleasure to work with you for the last 8 months. We are out of time for this segment, but we know we will have you back or some members of your team back to be on the show to talk about some things throughout the year. So thank you for stopping by the Good Work Show.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
All right, you're listening to the Good Work Show.
To learn more about the show and how your company can tell their story, like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter @GoodWorkShow.
Welcome back to the Good Work Show. We are sitting here with our colleague, Stacey Rozier. Hi.
Hey, how are y'all?
Welcome to the show. You're like, why is this too exciting?
Right.
She's the director of virtual career services at Goodwill. And Stacey, welcome to the show, first of all.
Thank you.
Yeah. So
It's good to be here.
Well, tell us about your role. So explain what virtual career services is. I mean, I kind of teed it up at the beginning of the show, but I probably didn't do nearly as good a job as you would explaining what it is.
So with virtual career services, first and foremost, we have careerconnector.org, which people can go to careerconnect.org to search for jobs. And it's also a tool that we use within our career centers. We have 13 career center locations across North Georgia that you can go and access Career Connector as well as from home. We also have the contact center. With the contact center, people can call if they have questions about their job search, if they want to know information about the activities we have going on within career services, if they want to know when our next information session is for one of our training programs, they can call our toll-free number 1-844-344-WORK, and they can get their questions answered so they can get connected to that training. We also have a grant that we got, the Goodwill Digital Career Accelerator, which is funded by Google.org, and that grant I oversee. We're trying to promote digital skills within our community.
Cool.
I always forget about the phone number.
I know. So give us that phone number one more time, a little bit slower. And I'm really trying not to look at something that's happening over here.
Yes, it's 1-844.
844. See, that's different than 1-800 or 1-866. So everybody know 1-844 344 work. All right. I need to remember that. I need to tell more people about that.
We need to get like RuPaul to come in and do that. Remember the song Better Work?
Oh, yeah.
was like, how does RuPaul even connect back?
If I have to explain it, then
no, I mean that's WERK. Let's just
that's true.
This is ORK. Okay. Don't try to put the E on your dial tone. It's going to work. Okay, so Stacey.
Yes, Stacey, back to you. So tell us a little bit about so I'm going to read it off this piece of paper. Goodwill Digital Career Accelerator, and this is a partnership with Google. Everybody loves to hear the name Google. They're like, oh, if it's Google, it's got to be really cool, and I'm sure this is because you're working on it. So
yes.
I'm sure it's awesome. But tell us a little bit more about what the program is and what people are getting from it.
So Google.org gave Goodwill Industries International $10.3 million in order to improve the digital skills of job seekers across the country. 67 Goodwills are participating, and they're participating at different levels. We received $50,000 in order to teach digital skills to our job seekers and participants. With the grant, it's broken down into 5 levels, so we have a level for everyone that we can help no matter where you are with your digital skills. The first level is just awareness. So with awareness, we're just letting people know, hey, did you know that the job market is changing? Mm-hmm. Employers want you to have certain digital skills. If you used to be a cashier at one of the local grocery stores, you just used to use a basic calculator. But now those cashiers are providing technical support to the shoppers. They're also troubleshooting computers. The job for a cashier has changed over the years, and we want to make sure our job seekers are aware of that. So it's that, and then also helping them improve their skills with just job searching in general, because now almost all applications are online. Mm-hmm. You have to have a professional email address, so we're showing them how to navigate that job search, helping them on the computers. So that's level 1. Level 2, we're going into basic training. That's when you're actually sitting down, taking a class. We are doing everything from keyboarding to how to use email to just the basics, even if you need to know how to turn on the computer. Because we do still have some people who are afraid of computers a little, and they're like, I don't really want to do anything until I know what I'm doing. So we teach you how to use the mouse. So that's level 2 is very basic. Level 3, we're getting more into that productivity software. So with level 3, we're talking about Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, using more of that software to up your skills to that next level. With level 4, we're talking entry-level digital careers. So that may be something like with the help desk, or it could be contact center training, even a little bit of social media marketing is included with level 4. And then with level 5, we're looking at mid-career type training. We have actually for level 5 partnered with TechBridge, and we're offering a technology and careers program. And there they can gain certifications in everything from web development in order to get certified and find jobs in those IT fields.
Okay. So now when people come to one of our 13 career centers, can they come in and say, I want to go on the Google program? Like, is that how it works? Or do they say, I'm coming in and I really don't know how to do a resume. I need to brush up on my resume. So do you assess them at that point, or do they say, no, I know I need level 4 because that's where I am in life, you know?
So we do have an assessment. We have actually, we're using North Star assessments in order to assess their skills. So if you don't know where you are, a career coach can then help you once you come into the career center. You just let them know, I'm not sure how much I know, but I want to see. Mm-hmm. And you can take those tests. And if you pass, you get a certificate. And you can use that to prove to your employer that you have those skills that you've learned in those classes.
That's great. Mm-hmm. And, you know, having that certification is fantastic for people because especially, I think about people that are like, well, maybe my job is being downsized, but then there's this other opportunity available in my same company. How can I prove that I can actually do that? So you can have this piece of paper to say, hey, I've done this and I can do these types of skills.
Yes. As a matter of fact, many of the people who come to us have recently lost their job and they're trying to get back out in the job market, and the skills are just not the same. So they come in, they notice that all of the job listings say you need Excel skills and they don't have that. So they're coming in so they can gain those Excel skills and then to help them find that job and get matched.
Yeah.
So so is this available at all the career centers, or how do people get their foot in the door? Can they find out about it at Career Connector? How do they get connected?
So all 13 of the career centers are offering the levels 1, 2, and 3. So you can come in and say you're interested in a computer class. You can also go to careerconnector.org. We post all of our classes on Career Connector. We also have career pathway information and videos if you're interested in getting into the IT field. So you can go on there to do that, as well as search for jobs that you're looking for, if you're looking for a job in that field or looking for any technology-related jobs. So, so just for levels 1 through 3, which is everything up to an Excel class, you can get from one of our 13 career centers. For levels 4 and 5, you can give us a call at that number I gave you earlier, and we can tell you when we're recruiting for our next class.
All right. So what else happens in your role? So you've got the Google Accelerator Program. You've got careerconnector.org. What else are you working on? Because like we talked about, at the show, we've got a lot of things happening at Goodwill, lots of programs, lots of ways that we're connecting people to work. Tell us about, kind of how you plug in with your other colleagues at Goodwill and kind of what everybody is working on.
So a lot of what I do too is supporting the rest of my team. For example, I'm over our data, so we do a lot of things with helping them pull information and data to help them better form our programs that we have. So we have lots of programs, everything from welding programs to floor tech, lots of other different hospitality programs that you can get connected to. And then also we just assist with delivering one of the newest initiatives we have is Facebook for Business class that we're offering, which is social media marketing. We partner with Digital Promise, and they provided us with a curriculum that'll allow people to learn how to market their business or organization online through Facebook and Instagram. For taking the class, you get a $25 credit that you can experiment with. So that's one of the newest initiatives that we're working on. So we're going to offer it for the first time through our career center, so you don't have to go through our Good Biz program. We originally started with Good Biz, which, if people don't know, we have an entrepreneurship program called Good Biz that'll help people write a business plan and do a feasibility study if they're interested in starting their own micro enterprise.
That's cool. So where do people go for that class? Because I would imagine there's a lot of folks that might want to know how, because I'm trying to think about a couple things. I'm like, what can I promote on Instagram that I need to go learn how to do it better? So where do people get more information about that class?
So if you're interested, you can either call our number, or you can actually go to goodwillng.org, and there'll be a page there where you can sign up for the class if you're interested in that.
Okay. And all of these resources are free of charge, right? So we should just let people know that, careerconnector.org, all you have to do is go through the registration process, but there's no charge for you to do that, nor to come into the Career Center and take one of the classes. Is that correct?
Correct. Even the social media marketing class, all that, the Excel classes, you can take those classes. That's no charge to the job seeker.
That's fantastic. So what about for employers? So if I have, workforce, or I need to hire someone and I say, well, they really need to have this level of Excel or Google Sheets or whatever, and they don't today, but I really like that employee and I really want to keep them on. Can I send them to Goodwill to get the certification and then have them come back?
Yes, that's a great thing about this grant. We are serving incumbent workers with this, so you don't necessarily need to be looking for a job. You can also be working now and just need the additional skills. We've actually already been approached by a couple employers who are interested in getting the training for all of their employees. So
fantastic.
It's very exciting to work directly with employers.
Yeah.
And that's a great thing, because I think that's one side that we don't talk about enough, that, talking to our employers to say, hey, if you're looking to fill some positions, if you know that there's some folks out there in your workforce that need some additional skills, that they can point them to Goodwill as a resource, rather than, we always talk to the job seekers, but I think I know we talk about a lot of the times, there's a lot of organizations out there that have jobs that need to be filled. And, whether you're paying a staffing service or whatever to go fill those positions, that Goodwill can be a good partner for you, in the sense that the work that you guys do already on getting folks with their soft skills and all that, getting people ready to go. So we've got a whole pool of people that are ready to go. If some of those employers would partner with us and make that happen.
Correct.
So Stacy, so you work over a lot of technology-based things, and before you go, because we're getting ready to end our show today, gotta ask you though about so what's better? Is it the Fitbit or is it the Apple Watch that you're wearing? Because I noticed you have on both.
She's on both.
So
oh my gosh,
so what's the tracking on and what's the experiment you have going on here, real quick?
Well, to be quite candid and honest, I'm a little mad at Fitbit right now, but I started off with Fitbit as one of the people who got it originally, and I've been buying it for my family and friends and just passing it along. I love it. It's great for challenging and interacting with friends. The Apple Watch is great for just staying connected to information while you're in meetings and things. You can see your text messages and your emails coming through. If there's something urgent that comes through, you can answer it right away. So I like both of them. One is just more interactive, and the other one is more just to see, what's going on with my phone.
Okay.
So you gotta.
All right. So I just had to ask that question because I was like, well, I need to know if you're doing an experiment to see, because one of our coworkers did that for a while. So anyway, well, thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it. And thank you for all the work that you and the team are doing in career services to put people to work and to help our employers. It's important. Digital skills are a must in today's society.
Absolutely. So thank you guys for having me.
Thanks, Stacy. It's been a pleasure to join you on this week's Good Work Show. We are excited. Our second one in the can. It was our Goodwill show. We'll be back next week with some more great content for you, so please join us.